Today we're going to be creating an easy morphing animation in Procreate. Okay, so here we are. Let's go into Procreate right now, and I'm going to go over to my animation folder here. And this is the character that I've got worked up. Actually, we could probably move him over more in the center. Feel free to copy him or just make your own character. I just drew it really quickly. Just one layer with the background, that's all it is. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to morph this guy in Procreate using the animation assist function. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take this animation and we're going to click on the little wrench icon right there and turn on animation assist, which is right there at the top, right under crop and resize. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to click on that and we're going to duplicate it. All right, and we're probably going to want, let me see how many we're going to do here before we start moving him. Probably about 5 or 6. So I'm going to duplicate this 5 or 6 times. All right, I did 6. All right, so he's just going to sit there for a little while looking at you, and then he's going to start to change. So we're going to duplicate it again, and this is going to be the one that's going to start changing. Okay, and then we're going to hit the little arrow right there, and we're going to hit warp. All right, this allows us to warp this thing around. This is a warping animation, so it works out really well. What we want to do is we want to make the smaller movements you make, the more smooth your animation will be. The bigger movements, the more jumpy it will be. So we want to go for a more smooth animation, but we also don't want to make this video an hour long. Okay, so we're going to kind of combine both of those. But if you have the time, you can do it more slowly than I'm doing it. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start pushing these sides in right here. So I'm going to get my pencil so it seems to be more responsive sometimes. I never could figure out where, here we go, where to grab that line to make it move, because sometimes I just won't grab it for some reason. If you guys have a better hint of how to do this, please let me know. I'm going to grab this one in the middle here. Maybe that'll work better. So that's going to start kind of scrunching him up a little bit. We don't want to do it too much. All right, and that's it. We're just going to get out of that, and I'm going to duplicate him a couple of more times because we want to do these in 2s. So every 2 frames is going to be the same, and then the 3rd frame after that will be the movement. So we're going to duplicate it one more time, okay? And then this one right here, we're going to make it warp again. So hit our arrow again, and then you can see the onion skin under there where our last one was at. So I'm going to warp him a little bit more, bring him in a bit more. I think that's good. Okay, and I'm going to turn off warp, and then we're going to duplicate it again. So we want that to stay just like it is for 1 frame, and then our 3rd frame here is going to move some more. Now, if you want to set your onion skin settings, if you hit the settings button right here when you're in Animation Assist, you can change the frames per second. We're going to change it to more, maybe 10. And then the onion skin frames, I only want to see 2, or maybe 1. So I just want to see the one I'm working on and the one that I previously did. That's all the information I really need. All right, and then we'll just click on the settings again and we'll get out of that. Okay, and then we're going to warp him again. All right, so he's starting to squish there in the middle. That's good. And then we'll duplicate it. And duplicate it again. And then we'll warp some more. All right, I think that's good. So duplicate it again, and then we'll move this one. That face is starting to scrunch up more and more. Get this bottom part here scrunching up too. Okay, that's good. And then we'll duplicate it. And duplicate it again. And then we'll change this one. Okay, same thing. Just keep doing this process. I might skip some of this, but you guys kind of know what I'm doing now. I'm going to start having this bottom come up like this. I'm going to bring this down, so you want it to kind of start to twist up. I think that's good. All right, and then continue this twisting up. Okay. So he's starting to go in a circle here. All right, we can take a look at it, see what it looks like so far. You know what, I think we can speed up the frames per second a little bit more. Oops, I added a frame by mistake. So if you just click on it and hit delete to get rid of that. So I'm going to settings, I'm going to crank this up to about, let's see if 13 what it looks like. It looks a little jumpy. Yeah, that's better. Just by changing the frames per second a little bit makes it a big difference. Also, don't want it to loop, so I'm going to change this to one shot. Okay, that's good. All right, this is the one we're going to change. So what we're going to do is we're going to start having little pieces break off of it. All right, and we're going to start erasing some of it too, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off all this red part right here, or this black and red part, and kind of round it up. And then we're going to start shaving off some of this. All right, and then we're going to change the shape of this a little bit. Maybe that. And then maybe we'll put like a line it like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this black color right here, and we're going to start drawing some little pieces that's maybe coming off. Just like that. Maybe some of this yellow one too we can. Just like that. All right, and then we're going to duplicate this one. And you know what? I'm not gonna do two that time. I'm going to go into uniform instead of the distort, and we're going to rotate this just a bit so it looks like it's turning. And then we're gonna duplicate it, and we're gonna turn it just a little bit more. So if you grab this green line right here, you can rotate the whole thing. Just about like that. All right, and now we can start changing it up a bit. So let's change up the shape a little bit more. Start taking off some of this yellow part, and we're going to start putting in some more of that black up here now. Maybe I'm going to take off some of this too. So he's just changing completely now. All right, and then I'm going to duplicate that one again. And we're going to rotate him one more time. All right, and then we're just going to change it up a little bit more. So I'm going to erase some of it. And then I'm going to add some more black to it. Just about like that. We're going to duplicate it again. All right, and then we're going to rotate it just a little bit more, so it's still getting that rounding effect. I'm just going to change it up a bit more. You know what, we're going to add a little bit of blue into it now. Some blue is going to start to appear. All right, and we're going to duplicate that again. And we're going to rotate it. So if you're enjoying the content, I have a small favor to ask that makes a huge difference. Subscribing to my channel is like giving a virtual high five, and it means the world to me. When you hit that subscribe button, you're not just supporting the channel, you're joining an incredible community of awesome people who love art just as much as you do. Imagine being part of something bigger where every view, like, and comment helps us grow and reach more awesome folks just like you. Plus, subscribing is super easy. It's just one click, but that one click has a ripple effect, helping me create more content, bringing new ideas to life, and spreading positivity all around. And hey, in the spirit of kindness, how about this? Subscribe and then go out and do something nice for someone today. Hold the door open for a stranger, leave a kind note for a coworker, or simply smile at someone who looks like they need it. Let's make the world a bit brighter together. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and let's make amazing things happen. Thank you for your support. You're the reason this channel exists. All right, and then that blue part is going to start to come together now. It's going to start to get bigger. All right, and then this yellow part is going to start to go away completely. And then we're going to add in some more black parts. And they're going to start getting a little bit bigger. Okay, and then we're going to duplicate that one again. We're going to rotate it a little bit more. All right, and we're going to make this blue part get a little bit bigger now. Okay. Maybe we got some blobs up here starting to form too. That's good. And then we're going to duplicate it again. And rotate it. All right, and then once again, we're going to make these blue parts get a little bit fatter. This is going to be our second face come into existence. Then the black, we'll start to get rid of some of it. Still maintaining that curvedness of it. All right, that's good. And then we're going to duplicate it again. I'm just going to keep on changing this one and keep on rotating it. Okay, and then we're going to make this blue get a little bit fatter. Okay, and then again, just keep doing that. Duplicate it, rotate it, and then we're going to make that blue part change a little bit more. Alright, and duplicate it again. I'm not going to rotate it this time. I don't want that big of a move. Alright, and this one, we're going to... Actually, you know what? We're not going to duplicate it. I'm going to delete that last frame. And we're going to start with just a clean blank frame. Okay, it's still on that blue color. So... So these shapes are starting to really take on a form now. I'm going to duplicate that frame. I'm going to duplicate it again because we want it to stay there for a bit. Alright, and now, let's see. You know what? I'm not going to duplicate it again. Again, I'm going to delete that. And I'm just going to add a frame. Alright, we're going to change this blue up now. It's good that you can use the fill when there's nothing else on the screen. Alright, and then we're going to choose this blackish color that we had before. We're going to start adding some black. Kind of linking up with this blue now. We want this white space right there, so I'm going to cover that up. Right here also. Alright, that's good. Alright, and then let's see, we're going to duplicate that frame, so let it stay there for a bit. And then we're going to add a frame, a blank frame. And we can start with that black color. Okay, and then we're going to go back to our blue color here. Try to intermingle it in this black part here. At least getting a closed shape so we can fill it in. There we go. And then if you got any gaps here, we can fill them in with the blue. I think that's good. All right, and then we're going to go back to this black color, and a face is going to start appearing. Just about like that. All right, and maybe we can still have some blobs coming in right here. Okay, we're going to see, we're going to duplicate it again. Yeah, maybe we'll let it hold for one frame. All right, and then we're going to add a frame, so a blank frame. All right, and we're going to go back to that black color. And our little character is almost formed now, so we're just going to kind of draw him like we would if we were just drawing a character. He's going to kind of be formed now. Just about like that. And that's a good hair. And we're going to go to our blue color here. And then we're going to put him in a face. If you didn't want to mess with this, I'll show you guys a trick. If you didn't want to messing up the hair, like mess it up, what you could do is you could go into your wrench tool here and go into Animation Assist. Okay, and then when you go over here to your layers, it'll show you all the layers you've drawn so far. And if you want to show just one layer, you just hold down that little check mark, and it'll turn off everything except for the one that you're working on right now. And you can create a new frame and put it under that one, and now you can draw your face and not worry about messing up your hair. And then just kind of fill it in, just like that. So let's see if we get the face the way we want it. Maybe that's good. Okay, and then what you can do is you can merge them together. All right, and then when you merge them together, it turns everything back on again. So then we can go back into Animation Assist, and then there's our one frame. Actually, yeah, that's good. So those little bubbles on that last frame are disappearing now. All right, so let's go back into our black, and we can start getting our face in more here now. Like that. Maybe a little nose right there. All right, maybe some ears are starting to form now, so let's put a little ear there, and maybe one over here. All right, and then let's take that black and let's just like that, and then we're going to go around the ears. All right, then we can fix this hair. Maybe we'll put some more hair hanging down here. If we connect it up, we can fill it in. No. Maybe not. And then we'll put some right here. See how that looks? Yeah, it's fine. All right, and that face is going to hold for one frame, so we're going to duplicate it. All right, and now we pretty much got the face in, so we're not going to have to draw it anymore. So we're just going to duplicate it one more time, and then we're going to have a mouth start forming. Actually, maybe not start forming, but just appear. All right, so like that. Then I want to change this to a yellow color. All right, then we go back to our black, and we're going to draw in some simple teeth. Just like that. All right, and then we're going to duplicate that frame, let it hold one time, and then we're going to duplicate it again. All right, and now his eyes are going to open up. So we get our black color there. We're going to just make some simple circles or ovals. We're going to fill them with white. I'm going to click that black color again, and then let's just put some big pupils. Do that again. There we go. It's still got that line in there. Just kind of go over it. All right, and let's do this one. That one did better. Okay, here's our little guy, and then we're just going to let him stay there. We're going to duplicate it maybe about 5 times. And then I'm going to make him blink actually. So we're going to duplicate it once more. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this blue color here, and I'm going to go through my eye here. Let me make my pencil a little bit bigger. Maybe like that, and then we're going to duplicate it again. Just like that. And then what we'll do is the one that was half open, we're going to duplicate it, and then we'll move it over here in front, so just kind of going backwards. And then we'll duplicate a full one. Move it here in the end. So let's see. Blink. Yep, that's what we wanted. And then let's just duplicate that maybe about 5 more times, so he'll stay there and looking at you. Okay, I think that's good. I think what I want to do last is I want to add in a background. So let me see if I remember how to do that. I haven't animated in Procreate in quite some time. What if we add a frame and drag it to the front, and then if I fill that with, say, this yellow color here. All right, and then can I set that as background? There we go, I did it. So yeah, if you just click on it, you can set it as background. You either turn it off or turn it on. So I just filled an empty frame full of my background color, and then when you click on it, you get the settings here, and just turn on background, and now that should stay just like that throughout our full animation. So that is it, guys. I hope this has been instructional for you and informative. This is a really cool effect that a lot of people get some really good jobs doing, actually. So it's a little bit tedious, but if you spend more time on it, you can make it look really smooth and really good. So again, if you have not subscribed, please do so. I would very much appreciate it. It's free for you. Just click on that little button down below. It says subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Give me a thumbs up and a comment. I'll answer all of your questions. And with that, I will see you guys next week for another Procreate or Procreate Dreams tutorial. Take care.